Another Democratic take on that and other aspects of this race. We have another presidential candidate. That'd be Bernie Sanders, joining us now live from Bow. Senator Sanders, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Yeah, let's talk about the race right now. First, how you feeling? You still have a big lead here. Is the burden of expectations something that you're thinking about?
Well, you know, I'm not a great believer in these big polls. I think it's going to be a close race. All I can tell you, Josh, we're going to be running all over the state. Today we're going down to Portsmouth. Then tomorrow we have, I think, 4 rallies. We have thousands of volunteers who are on the phone, who are knocking on doors. So we're going to do everything that we can to bring out every possible vote for us. And I hope very much that the turnout is large. If there is a good turnout, I suspect that we will do just fine.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about...
Well,
I'm sorry about that, Senator. I want to talk to you about the turnout. Just a short time ago, Andy Smith talked about all the new voters that you're bringing to this race. I've asked you this before. I'm going to ask you again because it is very important. Getting new voters to the polls, that can be sometimes a difficult task. How organized are you in trying to get these students and the first-time voters there?
Well, first of all, I am very proud, not only in New Hampshire, but all over this country, that we are bringing new people into the political process. You know, the last election we had, the midterm election, 63% of the American people didn't vote. That's not good. 80% of young people didn't vote. So to the degree that we are bringing young people and working people into the political process, I am very proud of that. Now, obviously, we have a fairly sophisticated approach to make sure that our supporters get out and vote. And we are going to do everything we can to make that happen. And I think we got a pretty good system.
All right, let me get your take on what occurred yesterday in North Korea. Hillary Clinton just weighed in on that. And obviously, foreign policy is one area where she's pointed to repeatedly and says, you know what, I'm the more experienced candidate here. First, your take on what happened in North Korea with the test of the long-range missile.
Well, look, it's a really, this is a country which is isolated with paranoid leaders who have atomic weapons and are now testing long-range missiles. This is an issue of huge concern. And I support the president's effort of leaning on China, among other things, to make certain that, that North Korea is brought to heel here, that they cannot threaten South Korea or other countries with their very dangerous weaponry.
Is this something that you feel would require under Sanders' presidency to take out this technology before it can be used against us?
Well, I don't know that you can get that specific right now, but obviously a nation which is isolated with paranoid leadership with nuclear weapons is a very, very dangerous situation. And we've got to look at all of our options to make sure that some terrible events do not occur.
Yeah, and there's some on the Republican side, Senator, that believe this Iran nuclear deal will eventually evolve into what we're seeing right now in about 5 years with North Korea. Do you share that concern? Is this a deal that you think is in the best interest of the country?
Look, unfortunately, many of my Republican colleagues seem to think that force and war is the first resort rather than the last resort. I think the agreement negotiated with Iran is very sensible. I think that it will prevent them from getting a nuclear weapon, and I strongly supported it.
Now, let's get back to the race itself now. And I mean, when you look at these poll numbers, the last one had you up about 30. You're still, you know, in the mid-20s right about now. Are you concerned about the fact that, you know what, this poll says we're so far ahead, there might not be the energy for some of the kids that want to get out and say, we got this thing.
Well, let me just say this, Josh. I don't believe those polls. There's no way on earth that we're 30 points ahead, that we're 20 points ahead. I think that anybody who's going to stay home because I think this is an easy race is mistaken. Look, Hillary Clinton won this state in 2008. She has a very strong political organization, and we are going to work as hard as we can to capture every vote that we possibly can. So I'm not sitting here thinking we're 20 or 30 points ahead. I don't think that's the case at all.
Let me ask you this. Obviously, you have tapped into something here. And you know, the first time I interviewed you more than a year ago, you said, we're going to see what happens here. We don't know if it turns into a revolution. Great, that's what we want. And there are a lot of people that are behind you. Hillary Clinton says she understands the energy. There's someone on the Republican side that says they understand it. Why have you been able to really tap into that? Why were you the messenger that people wanted to hear from?
Because I think, Josh, without being oversimplifying it, we're telling people the truth. And the truth is that we have a corrupt campaign finance system, which is undermining American democracy. I talk to conservatives and I talk to progressives. Nobody I know thinks that it is appropriate that billionaires can buy elections. That's not what American democracy is supposed to be about. And people see the connection between a corrupt campaign finance system and the fact that almost all new wealth and income is going to the top 1%. They see Wall Street reaching settlements with the federal government because of the illegal activities they pursued, and nothing happens to the executives on Wall Street. They get away scot-free. We are talking about the real issues, I think, impacting the American people. The fact that we have to create millions of decent paying jobs by rebuilding our crumbling infrastructure, raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour over the next couple of years, that we have to address the reality of climate change by transforming our energy system, that we have to make public colleges and universities tuition free, and by the way, that with so much income and wealth inequality, that we do have to ask the wealthy and large corporations to start paying their fair share of taxes.
All right, so we have about a minute to go here, Senator. We have less than 48 hours before the first voters head to the polls. How are you going to spend the next couple of days?
We're going to be working as hard as we can. I think we're going up to Portsmouth in a little while. And then we have, I believe, 4 rallies tomorrow, and I'll be shaking as many hands and talking to as many people as I possibly can. We take nothing for granted. So I and my political followers will be working really, really hard. And let me just take this opportunity to thank the many thousands and thousands of volunteers here in New Hampshire who have participated in our campaign. I appreciate that very much.
Well, Senator, you've always been very accessible, and I appreciate you joining us this morning, and best of luck to you on primary day.
Thank you very much, Josh.
All right, Senator Bernie Sanders, thanks very much.